in this instance, because usually it was Aqua gets ball, then Gyro gets ball, and then if nobody scores and we're struggling on the counterattack, Taroko's going to have to clean up the mess. In this instance, though, Gyro should be the one kind of running point and calling the action. Taroko can go back to being that second option that he used to be when First Killer was on this team and what really worked well for him. And the fact that Zanil is here can just help tighten up the counterattacks down the field. I think this amalgamation of a roster for Rogue might end up paying off in ways they didn't expect, but it really comes down to what version of Gyro do we get.
Yeah, again, obviously there's a big decision as to why they picked up Zanil. Out of all these rosters and all these opportunities, I mean, you see, hey, we can pick up basically anyone we want as kind of a free ride to 15K. Like, who do we go with? And the fact that they still settled on Zanil should tell you something and a reason to be confident. So the big focus here is going to be definitely trying to find some sort of offense. It's always been Rogue's kind of plague is, hey, we have the ability to put a couple shots on, but it's never really sustained. How do we find a way to make this consistent? On the other side for Team Secret, that physicality, something that South America tends to lean away from, or is that something that's going to change up? We see a lot of that also in ones as Gyro already chased someone down with minimal boost. But it is Rogue pretty much on offense here in the first minute.
Yeah, and if you're Rogue going into this, you should know that South America leans away. So you're going to use that to your advantage. You're going to get up physical downfield. You're going to try to cut down the lanes and make these 50s as choppy as possible. Granted, what a great 50 that almost leads to an opening goal. For Rogue, they have struggled with clean touches before. I wonder again if Zinnia will help that, but it comes down to execution in the end. There's a couple of shots that ring out early, but not a lot falling for Rogue. But this is kind of the kind of pressure. If you're a Rogue fan, you want to see this. You want to see them past midfield with possession of the ball, getting quality shots.
Again, as a reiteration for those that are unaware of the format, we're going to be starting here in these crew battles with a 3v3. Just get everybody's feet wet, make sure everybody gets on the field. And the losing team will then pick between 1v1s and 2v2s. The ability to decide, hey, how do we want to tackle this chess match? After that, we then go back to 3v3s as Ashan almost comes in here for Team Secret. Some pressure for them finally as this one passes across. Then we go back and pick the last one we haven't seen yet, whether it be ones or twos. And if we manage to get to a game 5, then we go back to 3. So players advocating, obviously wanting that 3v3 competition, especially with a prize pool of $2 million, makes a lot of sense. But again, a good double touch opportunity here from Taroko doesn't land. So we're going to see the third person in rotation, Zanil, slow it down a little bit, try to go for something on his own.
And that's what's scary about this entire tournament. It's like, again, you show up, you unpack your bags, you have a good flight, and you get 15K. If you come to this tournament and you try your hardest and you get a series or two, you're talking about an exponential growth of tens of thousands of dollars as you go on. And that's clearly a big chunk of change for a lot of these players and for teams, yes, like Rogue, who are not be going to the World Championship and they want to have a chance to compete for that prize money. So this is an opportunity to end the year on a high note. And it's certainly a way to test out the waters for potentially a new teammate. As a great save is made through there by Team Secret to keep this one away. Still 0-0, 2 minutes in. And this has been about as close of an opening 3-man hit for both teams I think you could have wanted.
Well, double commit on the back wall could be a problem, but it's good control here from Team Secret. Just going to slow it down, go for the solo play with Knight. Plays it over the top again. Defense already there. Again, no goal just yet. Ball lofted up high. Sad. Trying to drop that down low. Doesn't end up hitting the touch, and all doesn't matter as the follow-up is there from Team Secret. Good defensive rotation. Rogue's been working on that quite a bit as they sweep through, finding someone on their way back, not putting themselves out of position. This is a good redirect by Sad, kind of one of the players we want to focus on here. Has thrown possession away, something that Spaceman, you've with the Rogue HQ, you've seen way too much of.
So much of, but to end on a kind of a high note, as this game dwindles away, I've been very impressed early on with Zanil. His ability to cleanly catch the ball off the backboard, to clear it away on the defensive end, get downfield for a hit, and then if he doesn't find the angle he's looking for, how quickly he gets back in to challenge a lot of these touches. It's these constant pressure from the front of the box. One more bump out, a chance now for Team Secret, but Zanil will once more take it down the field. Plenty of boost to work with here. Looking for Taroko on the opposite wing, can't find the pinch. An extra bump that just keeps the play going. Zanil doing a very nice job early on to establish kind of his rhythm, and it seems that it's helped Rogue feel a little bit more confident.
Again, we talk about, hey, maybe we will see Taroko more in rotation, but I'm actually glad that Zanil is not afraid to move up. There's a lot of times when you're that fill-in guy, you don't really get those touches, and all of a sudden it's like as soon as you go to make one, you're not really in a groove. You're not in that rhythm that you mentioned. So the fact that he's working cleanly in rotation, he's getting involved very early on, I think is really important for them, and might be one of those players that's something we haven't even discussed really, is who's going to be filling in that other twos role. The assumption is that we're going to get Gyro and maybe Taroko, but at the same time, I don't know if they want to play and make Taroko play every single match that is possible. So Even just to see on how this one plays out, as we are finally now through over 4.5 minutes of gameplay, coming down to the wire. Still no goal, but plenty of offense from both sides. As the last ditch attempts launch downfield, they're probably going to kill that one, and we go into overtime in game one.
You know, that was a flurry of assault from Rogue, and that's great defense by Team Secret to not concede anything early, but these kickoffs have been relatively neutral for both teams. I do wonder if it will change as the series does go on. However, as things stand now, it's been constant Rogue pressure. They just haven't been able to capitalize. Maybe that changes. Another great challenge to the corner. A chance now to clear for Team Secret and a chance for possession. They're going to hold it here as a flip towards the side. We'll get Zanil falling out of the goal line. And another quick counterattack down the field by Rogue.
Good space given from both sides and not afraid to be patient with it as well. A lot of times we see that forced early on, and not the case here. Obviously, Team Secret and that South America region do a really good job on the back end, but it's going to get over the top. Zanil, the stand-it, get the first goal here on the board.
Ooh, great pinch and self-serve to his own. That's a beautiful read by Zanil. He had been flying downfield all game. The dude hadn't stopped moving.
I'm thinking twos is probably the play.
Yeah, you know, I was a little wondering if they were going to go right to twos, given how quickly it seemed that Zanil was getting on their heads in that opening game. But this is a chance to, again, get back to baseline, because it was 0-0 up until we went to OT, obviously. Like, it was a very close game, and the defense from Team Secret certainly held their own. So there's no reason you wouldn't trust yourself again. Now, granted, physicality so far for Rogue has been one of their strong suits, and having Zanil and Gyro in this spot, I like this call, because it used to be Gyro and Aqua, and Zanil just seems like he's playing at a faster rate than everybody else right now. This is a very dangerous game too, if you're Team Secret.
Yeah, not too many actually know about Zanil. Obviously hasn't gotten that showcase. Obviously Torrent and the Wisdom group over in Minnesota trying to do everything they can to put forth a strong roster. But there's been some pretty crazy changes to that roster. It was originally Alpine that came in from the Rival Series, and having a top 8 performance in the RLCS just really hasn't found their footing, even with the addition of a pro coach like Mystic. So it is interesting to see Zanil finally get that showcase, and that's going to be kind of the general premises, it feels like, for this tournament altogether. A lot of chance for some of these individuals to showcase their talent, especially with the off season for a lot of these teams coming early, because they're not going to be in Dallas in a few weeks. Yeah. This is a good chance for them to really showcase and be like, hey, like, I am a solid free agent or someone you should be searching for. And it's just the beginning. Like, if you've already seen some of these roster changes, free agents like Cash available over in Europe, it's going to be crazy to think about what the next season and the next evolution of our pro scene is going to look like. And it's something that I always welcome. It's always a great time. So
yeah, for sure. No, this is going to be one of the biggest off seasons I think Rocket League's ever had, just for talent moving around.
My poor heart, man. I don't know how we're going to do it, but it should be a good time. But again, another slow play here. Both teams being pretty patient. Zanil with pretty minimal boost trying to get on that pad, and Joe's going to help himself to it. So this one drops down, should be an easy save and kicked out, but minimal boost going to make it tough to chase. And a good play by Sad, denying both boosts. Should minimize Zanil's efforts here. Just play back in the midfield to go with double touch from Gyro into the corner. Just going to shadow it through and gets demoed. So now having to play patient on the back wall should be an easy save for Zanil with the recovery and staying behind it.
It's been a lot of clean touches for Rogue, and I have, more than anybody on this planet, I have harped on Rogue and their inability to get clean touches.
Last time you said that?
Oh my goodness.
For Rogue, huh?
It feels like it's been a couple of years. Gyro able to put it through. It's a great setup from downfield with 2:32 to play. Gyro takes it himself, gets it around 1, and finishes the rest.
And right at halftime, a good play by Gyro. Again, individual effort just popping it high, and that seems to be the difference maker. Twos is kind of a unique breed because it does still provide the team aspect of 3v3s, but
yeah,
a whole lot of room to work with. So that individual play that we love in ones can really shine through. So able to break out. And early on, it's going to go off the back wall. A shot there, cut off by Zanil, and this is where that counterattack can be dangerous. He's only got 4 boosts to work with. Is Zanil going to take it solo? He is. Second touch, puts it in, make it a third. It's actually not going to go in. Beautiful defense. Trofino doesn't even get phased by it.
We sure Aqua's not here? We absolutely positive? Like, oh my goodness. That was terrifying. And that's, I mean, look, I'm a small part of me that has been locked away for many months is getting happy right now. But that was ridiculous. And that read from the defensive Team Secret, you can't say enough about it. The fact that it's only a 1-goal game is absolutely mind-blowing, but never mind. Gyro will take it from the sidewall himself. Gets the extra half bump, and, well, he's feeling it.
Really good play and a difficult one here for Sensley. A lot of things that he's got to look out for when he's near post, because he's not facing north-south. you can't really go up and make a challenge. And for Gyro, all that space in the air, do I go for a flip reset? Do I fake it? What do I want to do? Eventually ends up working out. So up by 2, Rogue looking solid, proving why they made it through the qualifiers, even though Zanil having to be a stand-in. Seems to be the right choice so far. As it's cut off in the midfield by Zanil, able to get a little bit chasey off the ceiling, has his flip available. It's going to delay it and pinches it on the ground. Almost a great attempt, but it doesn't matter. The follow-up there from Gyro slots on top left, up by 3.
Yeah, you know, we had the discussion in this game of, was 2's the right play? And I don't think we really dived into it. It was more just like, yeah, you know, you're feeling comfortable, blah, blah. Maybe 1's was the way to go, because it seems that Zanil and Gyro are kind of on each other's matrix time right now. And having 1's to kind of hit an equilibrium for Team Secret could have been the play. It's all hindsight 2020, but this has been really impressive. Like, usually in 2's, it's maybe a 1-2 goal game for Rogue. In this instance, it has just been complete chaos individually in a good way. It's been a lot of patience and boost control, but a lot of creativity as well with the offense. And as I say that, great save from Gyro.
Yeah, really good break check on the back wall. Zanil getting chased down and able to dodge it. So gets the clear, and even though the shot on target, gonna slow play this. Good flick, top right, doesn't matter. Already covered on the backboard. It was actually a really fun thread the other day on Twitter about the decision making that goes into who challenges first, whether it's the person on the backboard or the person on the ground, and why that is. And you're starting to see that. It's something that I hope that more conversations like that become a thing as Trofino slots it top right.
Well, that's one way to get your offense back into it. Not a lot of time, but my goodness, what a pass and what a read. Barely beats out Zanil. Upper 90 couldn't have been any better. If that touch is a hair to the left, that ball's hitting the post.
Again, Rogue been given a little bit of space, but when they challenge, it's been successful. Those are little differences that it's going to take for Team Secret, as another chance here. Good demo, but followed up. Something that, again, South America, not always the most common, but when you go for an air dribble bump, it's almost successful, but good defense. The tandem of Rogue been pretty solid. As again, bump on the outside, Gyro recognizes it and has to cut it off. Great check too by Gyros. He's going to just be happy to play this one around slowly. That probably should have been a goal, but it doesn't matter. It's going to hit the ground, and now Rogue on match point as we go back to 3v3s.
What a way to start the day if you're able to cook. It's the same person. We love game. It's listen, it's Rogue. I feel confident, you know, as a group of 3, and I know that at this point of the season, even though tonight we'll open it up with an opening goal, Rogue certainly should feel confident in this entire series. And I think for Team Secret, getting something going early, and it sounds as simple as it is really important, because I don't think they expected to be down 2-0 this quickly in this series. It is probably the favorites going in. Now they have to work for the back line and really remake this series from what they can find.
Yeah, there's been a lot of conversation too, and I'm curious on your take on it. Obviously, we've gotten to see the highest level when we're watching these spring majors like we did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
we're talking the best of the best of each region. But now in tournaments like this, as well as in Dallas with the wild card coming up, we are going to see some of this international competition not go against the very pinnacle of each region. You are going to see some, you know, 3 seeds play some like 8, 7 seeds.
Yeah,
which I think is really exciting. We're kind of getting that right now. We've got the 2nd seed in Sam going up against the 9 seed in North America with a player on loan. We're talking about this depth and the physicality and everything else that comes with Rocket League, and kind of seeing this evolution of like, okay, you know, maybe these regions do have a little bit more in the tank, and being able to showcase that for us here, you know, very, very blessed to be able to kind of just get to sit back and watch and enjoy this international competition, because it is still quite a bit of a rarity, I think, in our space, and hopefully that changes more so in the future as things kind of get back to normal. But good shot here from Team Secret, beating everybody to the ball, and up by 2.
Yeah, it just does take a little bit of time for that to get going. You know, saw this from Rogue earlier. Double tap to set up a teammate, centered out perfectly. And yet, to get back to your point, you know, this tournament matters, I think, for the teams that want it to matter. Like, if you're an SSG, a Complexity, a FaZe, a Falcons, like this is the type of tournament where you're just going to work on the small details. You're going to refine and polish your game and get ready for Worlds. For other teams, this is an opportunity to, without a lot of pressure, find out what works and what doesn't and change up everything. So like if you're Rogue, if you're a team like Almid, who maybe didn't expect to be in this spot, this is a clear advantage for you because you get extra practice against the best in the world, which you don't normally get, but you also get a chance to actually, you know, win some extra money. So there are different layers for a lot of these teams, but there is so much to learn and so much to be gained from even the best.
Yeah, even as a fan, you're seeing some of the things that just weren't the case just seasons ago. I mean, you just saw Rogue try to go for an infield pass play. It was a great pass downfield on the right-hand side. They were going to redirect that back mid, but all of a sudden you see physicality from South America to not only deny the pass from even becoming, but then you have Sad come in and cut off the pass. It's like you're seeing this small evolution, these little minute details. Just the evolution of Rocket League has come so far. So as a fan of the game at a high level, it's been really impressive just to see how much things have progressed in such a short time, both on a macro level, but also on a micro level, both within the region itself, as well as just Rocket League as a whole. As everybody on Rogue decides they want to go up for that one. Doesn't really lead to anything, but
it's Rogue.
Team Secret with possession and pressure on offense yet again.
You know, the interesting thing about the meta change is that it used to take a couple of seasons before we would see things kind of develop. Now it takes maybe a series. Like for Team Secret, are they going to get physical? They did in the first 2 games. It's a play style they're not normally accustomed to, and already they're doing a little bit more of it. Like, granted, it's not as the same level as like a FaZe or a Dig, but in this instance, you're seeing teams and even the best in the world make small adjustments, whether it's the physicality, whether it's the ability to pinch the ball, whether it's the ability on counterattacks and defense and all that stuff. Teams who are the best in the world in the RLCS at this level of the game, in this stage of the game cycle, they're able to make those meta changes as a couple of months goes by rather than a year.
I mean, it's something that's a necessity, right? Like, you have so many teams that have gotten so shored up on defense. You have so many players that are just mechanically absolutely cracked. I mean, obviously in South America, I mean, can we talk about Jan anymore? Like, is a special breed of talent. So when you're going up against that level of play, you have to find ways to open up the midfield and find ways to score. And yes, you can go for the mechanical stuff if you have space. Yes, you can hit infield passes, but a lot of the times it's just the defense is so good, and the only way you can get a goal is if you remove them all together. So it's going to be interesting to see on how this evolution or what that next step of the meta is going to become. But primarily, it's been a lot of fun to watch and an absolute pleasure, as right now Team Secret completely shutting down the offense of Rogue as Trofino. Minimal boost going to put him himself in no man's land. Could be dangerous as he rotates back. Is able to get that right boost and should be fine as Secret. Again, happy to play boom ball. Play back down the other field. Just going to survey the middle. And when a challenge comes out, aggressively challenge it. Is Sad going to pre-jump this one from downtown.
Yeah, the clear variable that stands out in this game 3 is that there is not a lot of room given for Rogue now. On these challenges, on these carries, the possession game's been there for Rogue, but Secret are cutting it down very quickly, and they're contesting the ball. Something they didn't do in game 1. They didn't really do in game 2. It was a little bit better, though, is that dangerously circles around the net. Team Secret not allowing Rogue free touches off the sidewall that was so accustomed to in game 1, and it's paid off. You have a 2-0 lead, and they have just maintained that pressure throughout.
Rough touch for Zanil, but again, we talk about that margin of error in the evolution of this game. Some of these touches may not be the best, because this one Gyro can't get to. It's going to be another save. Got to put that one again. Only 10 seconds remaining. They have to find something here so they can play it at 0-second times. This one off the ceiling, cleared back away, and it's going to be almost a goal, but might be able to pinch this one straight down, and it goes the other way. So now, with that said, not enough time on the clock. Once this one hits the ground, these guys showing their best impression of a very early rule that we don't need to cause contradiction for. Don't need any rides just yet, but it gets you with like really solid defense and counterattacks. But it is going to be Taroko versus Knight. Should be a fun one. A lot of it's going to start with those kickoffs, and a perfect one for Taroko to start us off.
Wow. Well, yeah, that answers my question. And Taroko running the Octane in this one. So used to watching him on the Fennec. I'm not sure it changes much, but that's a great kickoff alone to stall the ball out and a powerful shot, 90 kilometers early on. And what a way for Rogue to get back into it. Very slow game number 3, but as game 4 kicks off in Coliseum, it will be ones for Rogue. And for Team Secret on the other side, this is kind of house money here. Like, granted, you're still down in the series.
Oh my gosh,
would have been insane, but that's a free goal. But you know, the nice thing about ones is that every time you think, oh, you're building a lead of like 3 or 4, the game is yet to be done. There's so much time left and so many opportunities, and this is just a clean opening.
Yeah, being able to score in roughly 2 seconds in ones off a kickoff and then a quick shot, depending on how it pinches, can really turn the tides very quickly. So no safe lead really, which is also the scary thing too, is knowing like, hey, this can start to like dwindle away. We've seen some very famous 1v1 moments with Fairy Peak, and Astral, and the whole be careful, and there's some pretty iconic moments that we've seen. So on this one, even though Knight does have a solid attempt with that musty, is going to be a good 50 again from Taroko, and punished. No one to back you up on these. All it takes is one mistake.
You know, here's the interesting thing is that obviously we know Taroko's not going to get baited often. You're not going to be able to squeeze him out of position as much as maybe other players on Rogue. So Team Secret are going to try to throw everything in the kitchen sink at him early on. And then maybe you'll see a little bit more of a hesitant gameplay from Knight. But it depends on how quickly that does come to fruition because you are down 3. There's a lot of time. Now you're down 4. Taroko is very, very good at his positioning, and he doesn't overcommit. He does remind me a little bit of maybe like a less version of Turbo Pulsar, but not in like a negative way. He knows where to be. He knows when to be there, and he's not going to give you the free stuff.
I think the cool thing about Taroko in ones too is it does showcase his game sense and his game IQ. A lot of times, like you said, very consistent, very stable player, which I think is fantastic in a LAN environment. When you're playing for this kind of money, having a player like this that doesn't really make mistakes, really clean and solidified, and he's going to be consistent is super important. But also has a really good understanding of the game. Exactly knows when, hey, just a second ago, I'm going to beat you to this ball. I'm going to have a free aerial shot on target. But then at the same time, hey, you're rotating back. You can't catch this. I'm just going to throw it on target. So again, Taroko punishing the little things. And that's what's so great about ones is you find out very quickly the flaws in your own game based on when you challenge, how much space you actually have. That positioning and that spacing, bread and butter here as he's going to fake one. 50 doesn't work out, but this figure 8 format and positioning going to lead to another boost. He's going to take it high, and curious how Knight's going to challenge this one as he just throws it on target. And he's happy to try to play the boost game yet again. Awkward recovery should be fine, and he's able to deny that one too. So, and
he's getting every single big grab as well. Like he's gotten 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. So there's not a lot of boost here for Knight. Even if he wants to get the small pads, it's going to take more time to circle back into the ball. But Taroko, I feel like he learned a lot more from First Killer than most people give him credit for, because First was essentially playing ones against squads of 3, and Taroko was responsible for cleaning up the mess. Like he was responsible for tracking down the ball, making sure First Killer got back into the play, but also, you know, being the only backline that we had for a long time. I feel like he has picked up a lot of those ones tendencies, and he's been able to execute it so well, which is why you see kind of the patience on every play that he has. He juggles this one right down, and Taroko makes it 6-0 with 3 minutes to play.
I remember the narrative when he came in and we're like, yo, Taroko's probably the most underutilized third man in Rocket League when it was 100%. First Killer playing his one show. And you're gonna, again, a lot of times, and this is what I like about these events, is you don't get to see these players showcased. Because they are on a 3s team, it is not their job to do all the flashy. Like their job is to win. That is the only purpose, and whatever that means, whether it be a lot of defense or just good saves or consistency. But they're professional players at the end of the day. Like they are still like 300 MMR over the top of you in ranked. And Taroko's showing exactly why. Yeah, he's a staple of that Rogue offense.
Yeah, you could be down 4 goals with 2 minutes or so in ones. Like we've seen that comeback before. We saw it during the charity tournament. But when you're down 7 and you're down consistently in the boost grabs, the possession, just everything is going against you. You got to score something. The only way to break the monotony is to score a single goal. Great pinch, but better read from Taroko. And watch how he followed that one on the opposite wall to track it down. He just knows exactly what Knight's going to do with the possession. He's not going to over-challenge. He's not going to go up for a 50 that leaves him exposed on the back line. He's getting every boost he needs. He's able to avoid the bump, and he's going to get himself an 8th goal.
Oh, really smart as well on that side wall. As he's retreating back, watch his positioning. I don't know if we're going to get to see it on the replay here, but on the back side, again, he has the ability to turn and challenge, but instead he's just welcoming it in. He understands, hey, my possession's gone. I can't make this challenge because all it takes is one cut to get around me. And then just faces it well. Not only does he have to prepare for this air dribble bump that's coming in, a lot of things that he's doing right. Focusing in on Knight, though, like it's not like he's playing poorly. It's just these small little mistakes, you know. When you're down, you have to play a bit over aggressive. You're trying to make up a 9-goal lead now. So yes, aggressive challenges, finding ways to catch Taroko off guard, but that only plays into Taroko's hand more. A guy who's so good on positioning is going to be passive. He's going to be patient. He's going to bite you on those fakes. So Taroko completely dominating this game, and rightfully so, because the decisions he's making have honestly been perfect so far.
Yeah, he's played it all like he was off the kickoff in the start of this game. And when it stands out most, it really is that
you should have just stayed there for 2 minutes. You should have just stayed there for 2 minutes, call it quits.
Well, finally, Team Secret get themselves something, and I think it's in fact of that rule right there. But you would love that, right? Like just to get something on the board, you'd rather have one than none. And for Knight, a chance, an absolute chance. Look, there's a lot of time left, but it will take a quick couple of goals in succession to make this one realistic.
Oh, a good start here, and Taroko trying to get back. It's not going to do it. Again, we saw Taroko score 8 in 2.5. And this is going to be fun too. Like, hey, you're the one playing, your entire team surrounding and huddled around the computer. That's a vibe.
They're clapping like, hey, you got one. Let's go.
Pity claps.
Good vibes from everybody. I love that.
Again, at the end of the day, there's still a lower bracket, so not want to count it out yet. Still 2 minutes, plenty of time. As the shot on target should be able to get back on this one. Good control and probably going to take it to the ceiling. Soft touch. Can't get underneath it and pull it off. Has the boost, but should be plenty of time to get back. Flip reset. No, just going to take the shot on a good delay here from Knight. Again, that mix up. Got to find ways to work that in. Does catch Taroko's defense off guard.
Well, cuts the lead down to a third. And all of a sudden, you're looking at a potential quick momentum swing. There is no way, I'm saying it now, there is no way that I'm betting against Rocky, but Knight is proving me wrong. Goal after goal, kickoff win after win, he has found a way to chip away slowly at Taroko. He'll have boost now, and I think that does help. Having boost finally on the other side of the field is paying off. Recovery, great shot. It's 9-4.
Did you just bring this to a game 5? Is that what's happening again? Talking about, you know, warming up and feeling good. What looked like an impossible task just a minute ago is now back within 5.
Literally a curse.
You can't count out, Spaceman. You never can.
I'm going to scream. Okay, Taroko. All you need is one, buddy. Just one more goal. I can feel it coming back. I don't like where I'm at right now. And he's going to get it over. Okay.
No. Okay, well.
It's 10-4.
All double digits on this one. And again, Knight, it's tough, right? When you're on that back wall, either Taroko takes a power shot and places that in a corner, or you challenge early and try to cut it off.
Yep.
Taroko just takes his time with it. So quick pop over the top. Minute 19 left to go. Still plenty of time. Again, as Knight probably going to find one off the kickoff. That one's actually off target. Pain. Does get the boost, though. Should be able to score. And he's good. No, I'm so sorry. That's on me.
Of all the times. Of all the times. Why now? Well, you can make up for it right here. Oh my God. Double reset? Almost dunked it through. That would have been disgusting.
Really interesting. Yes, but it's been interesting, Spaceman, because a lot of times in ones you just see the game pure chaos fast. Like it's just shots like rifled one after another. This game's been very methodical. Not afraid to play the pace. Also, Taroko, why are okay? You know,
don't ask questions. He is him. It's a great shot.
Saves this too.
Wow, what a block too.
And he's gonna get the boost, and he's fine. I just kill the clock at this point. 20 seconds. And why not add another one? That's a free goal for him. Just kidding. I am so sorry, Taroko. I keep doing this. That's on me.
It's okay. He has 10 goals. He's fine. It was a little scary at the end, but Taroko will close out. Maybe no, it's gonna touch. Okay, it's gonna be good though.